Now, how good does this sound? Oh, hold on. Oh yeah. Okay. Ready? Fucking steering lock. Oh, I need two arms up. Damn it. There we go. Okay. How good does this sound? It doesn't sound that amazing on camera actually, but it feels good. Engine's really nice and smooth and running good. Okay, I'm just going to turn the camera off and set the GoPro up and my little fuzzy mic. In the words of the great Austrian thespian, I'll be back. Okay, so we're off. I've made it 30 seconds outside my gaff and there's roadworks and there's not a soul doing any work as always. Lovely, perfect weather today. What's the time? 9 o'clock, something like that, 9:30. No one out doing any work. Good old moan. I love a good moan. First thing in the morning, makes me feel better. You get old, you like moaning. But look, you're about to see it now. Look, roadworks. Look at the hive of activity. Not a soul doing anything. It's been like that for days. These companies that do all these roadworks, they got such a cushy number because they never bloody do anything. It's all contracted out to private companies now that win the contracts, isn't it? Say, I'll take this long, this long. They know if they're going to finish on time or not, I would imagine, but they certainly ain't rushing. Okay, what were we talking about today? We're here to talk about the Clubsport. Before we do, I always just do a little bit of random waffle. I'm staring at a jerry-rigged GoPro thing here. I've got like GoPro Video Pro mic all rubber banded all together, so I'm just doing a little test to see if I get any audio, you know, funny knocking noises when you're doing the audio. It's the biggest risk. I think we'll be good. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. The camera angle's not great, but it will do. So the point of this video is to have a chat with you guys, get your wisdom as always. Now the BMW E46 330 Ci, project from hell, pub 1, money pit, pub 2, you know, bit of kind of, not clickbait, but dramatisation, but probably not exaggeration of what this car really is, and they are money pits. Any old car really, it's going to be a money pit. But let's keep it simple. I bought this car for £2,000. I bought it with lots of issues, but all kind of minor niggles. And I bought it to have fun with and blast around the track and really get to know the car again, because it's a car that I had when I was younger. And it's been absolutely brilliant. You know, I've really fallen in love with this car because I think it's a really good sports coupe for £2,000. You know how well I think it drives, everything about the way it drives, everything about the way it feels, I really, really like. I love driving around it. I really feel, in fact, we've got some open road here, which is rare. I really feel I can absolutely abuse this car and it's safe, but the handling is fun, enjoyable. It's got just a good amount of power where you can have some fun with it. And on a track, you wish you have a bit more power, but generally it's okay, and it's very well balanced. And I've done about 7 track days in it, maybe more actually, and just from doing those track days in this car and not getting track insurance because it's a cheap car means the car's kind of already paid for itself. Well, it hasn't quite. I'm trying to make myself feel better about it. So it's kind of paid for itself with track days. I haven't spent a fortune on it, and I've fixed millions of niggles myself, caused some of the problems with it myself. But I've literally got an error-free car with great suspension. The brakes are okay, although they need sorting. They need new discs at some point, performance discs and pads. But the car is developing a problem, and the problem it's developing is with the good old clutch, the crutch. And what's going on? Well, can you feel this now? I've got no one behind me. Oh, geez, it's unusual to have a road this quiet. And I'm just going to accelerate. Can you feel that? But now it's coming, now it's biting, and I'm off the clutch completely when I'm accelerating. The clutch is really slipping badly, so it's not engaging I'll do it again. There. Actually, it held that time, but it's on its way. And if I really go hell for leather, let's give it another blast. There, it's going, it's gone. Now it's biting in. And my foot is not even touching the clutch, it's on the little respite to the left. So like, you can't put the power down, it's not engaging. It slips, and then when it gets really high, it suddenly starts engaging. And what's going to happen is that's going to get worse and worse and worse till the point where there's no bite at all on the clutch, I think. So I think I've got a worn out clutch basically, which I kind of knew about. I'm surprised it's held for this long. So what a clutch is going to, and probably a flywheel is going to be about, my mechanics told me about this ages ago, and I knew about it when I first test drived it. But I've had, what, over a year and a half on this clutch. It's probably the original BMW clutch, and we're coming up to 153,000 miles on the car. It's pretty impressive. So a new OEM clutch and flywheel. Oh, it's stuck. There we go. Now it's going. It's just about holding. So new clutch and flywheel, he'll probably do for just about under 800 quid, something like that, which is a good price. So, and that's going to need doing soon. As well as that, I'm going to need to put performance discs and pads on it. Running the current brake setup is not quite good enough for track use. You know, the front discs will warp if I take them on the track again. They get the deposit build up and you get the judder. So I'd need to put some performance front discs on and some performance front pads, and I might as well do the rear pads and brakes at the same time. So I've got a set, probably go with EBC, the slotted ones and the blue stuffs. And then I've got a full set of performance discs front and back. But that's going to be at least 600-700 quid, something like that. So we've got 800 quid plus, let's say 600 quid for all of the braking system, all the brakes. So that's 1,400 quid. After that, I know that I need to do the rear brake, where the brake lines are mounted and they go to the flexible brake pipes that go to the caliper. The little hinges they sit on, the little mount points are corroded, and the little sort of like connector bit is all corroded. So I could just cover that in grease, actually. I probably will. I mean, it's okay, but it's something that you would need to sort. There's rust, isn't there, in the rear arches, and the sort of, I suspect if I take the rear bumper off, I might find some rust there that just needs treating now rather than later, to the point where it starts rotting through. And it needs the full respray. So let's say I could get all that done for like 2 grand, which is a bit optimistic. Then 2 grand plus, what did we say earlier on? 1,500, 1,400. We're at 3.5 grand. So we're at 3.5 grand, and I'm sure there's, I need tyres, and I think I'd put a set of NSR2s on this, because I don't care if they're noisy on the road or whatever, you know. I do care a little bit, but they'd just be a decent track tyre, really. You know, semi-slick track tyre that's relatively cheap. So I'd put those on. So we're at 3.5. Let's say another 500 fitted for those NSRs. So we're at 4,000 now. You know, 4,000. There's some other little bits that I need to finish off. I need to get those front bits of those front 2 plastic trims that you see on the Clubsports. Let's say another 100 quid for those. You know, 3.6. What other little jobs? There's a couple of other little jobs I need to do. I can't remember what they are. These A-pillars need sorting, they're bugging me. We're getting close to 4 grand. Is it worth spending 4 grand on this car just to keep it going? And get, well, not just to keep it going, to get it nice. Or is it worth saving that money, selling this, because it's still worth 2 grand probably all day long for a manual Clubsport, you know, that's partially restored. The list of things that I've fixed on it is vast, and the interior is kind of lovely, all restored, you know, centre console and everything working, fixed a whole load of issues. So I could get £2,000 by selling it and save £4,000 by not fixing it. So that's £6,000, and that could go towards the next car. So that's quite a strong argument, isn't it? You can see, like, I'm already convincing myself. The thing is, the next car would probably need money as well thrown at it, won't it? The next car would need money thrown at it. And what would the next car be? You've got to factor in, I've also got the other money pit, the E46 328i that I'm trying to restore as well. And I've made really good progress with that. And I'm at the stage where I need to spend money on that now to get that last bit of paintwork sorted out, and then that's pretty much done. I always get to the stage where I need to spend the money, and then sort of like the momentum stops because you don't always have that money, which is fine. It's fine. But I'm thinking that it might be the time to sell this car. The only problem with that, as soon as I say it, I suddenly know that it's even more so than the M140. If I get rid of this, I haven't made my mind up yet, I'm gonna absolutely be gutted, because it's such a good car. It's all the cliches are about to come out. Warning, cliche alert, cliche alert. But it is such a good driver's car. It's a car you can abuse. He says with a worn out clutch. It's a car you can abuse if you've got a new clutch in it, and it will just keep going and going and going and going. And you can abuse it on the road, and you shouldn't do. And you can abuse it on a track, and you can just really enjoy driving it. And it's got sat nav, it's got TV. I can't pick up any of the TV signal because it's an analog thing, so you have to get the digital module put in, but it's still got a TV. I'm still taking a win on that one. So I really enjoy it, and I love the fact that it is about the right level of speed for me for road use. You know, about 230, 235 or something, I can't remember the exact figures. Brake horse. I think it's got plenty. I'm not pushing hard on the accelerator because I'll make it slip, so I'm just feeding the power in slowly. I think it's got a lovely amount of power for road use. Track use, yes, it'd be nicer if it was another 50 horsepower, would be nice. But for road use, you actually get to enjoy this car. One of the reasons I said in my video that I got rid of the M140 was just there's too much power there, that if you want to put your foot flat down on the floor in the M140, unless it's bone dry warm conditions, it can't hold that power. It has to be dry, the tyres have to be warmed up, then it can put the power down. If it's wet and greasy and you floor it, it's not going to be able to put the power down. Either the traction control will kick in, or if you drive it in Rambo mode, commando mode, with all that stuff turned off, which I used to, you're just going to spin the back end up, you know. And the M140 doesn't have the same feel to it when you brake traction as a saloon. It doesn't like, I'm not sure about doesn't like, but this, I can just brake traction and hammer it, and like the back kind of feels like really nice, whereas the M140 is a lot more twitchy. You can't just sort of hang the back out on it. So yeah, the M140 had too much power, and again, if you can put the power down, within about 2 seconds of heavy acceleration, you're at speeds where you're not going to probably make the corner, so you're always like having to slow down, whereas with this you're just ragging it for every dime it's worth, and that's what I really like about the car. You know, we are, I've said before that, you know, we're at the last stage now of the petrol engine. That's something I want to do a video on as well. The last stage, in fact I'll do it after this, but we're at the stage where we don't have that many iterations now of good petrol engines coming, because all the development's going to switch, and you know, I think all the manufacturers have gone absolutely mad with what they're doing, this arms race. I've talked about many times as well, with arms race of power, making cars that they're selling to people that probably shouldn't be driving them with too much power. It's just my opinion. It's going to upset some people. It does upset some people, but it's just the way it goes. You have to, as a YouTuber, be prepared to upset people. Hopefully not too much. So I think actually buying these older cars with solid engines that, if you maintain them, will last a lifetime is the way to go. And I think for £2,000 you cannot get a better car than this E46. And these traffic lights are never going to go green. Come on. Oh, come on, for God's sakes. People think you're a nutter talking to yourself in the car. That's why I'm keeping quiet. Oh, come on. There's no traffic at all, and you're just sitting here waiting for nobody. No traffic going past the other way. And we're off. Glorious roadwork, Great Britain. So that's it, guys. I want to know in the comments what you think about this subject of keeping this car. I've asked before for suggestions. I think my heart would be set on an E46 M3, which is really what I want, and that might be my end game kind of last car, really. And I think it would give me that little bit of extra power that I want for track use. I don't know, it's not perfect though, because it's going to cost me money, that car, to maintain it as well. I've been there, had one before, but that's my spiritual home. It's just a case of finding the right one. So, should I sell the Clubsport, or should I finish this project, get it all mint? I'll never see the money back if I finish it, and keep hold of it. I don't know. If I do sell it, I'll let you know, and I'll stick it up on eBay or something like that, and it'll be £2,000 unless, well, yeah, it'll be £2,000, and I've got a brand new bonnet for it as well, being from BMW. So that's it for this one, guys. I'm now going to do another video on the internal combustion engine. Tranquilly, over and out.